I watched Europa burn. We'd trusted the Council of Helios, sworn allies once, but their message came with plasma fire and orbital betrayal. My brother, Commander Rhys Vance, died screaming in the cold, his cruiser split in half over Saturn's rings. Earth went silent after. We disappeared. But we did not forget. Now, as the hangars thunder open beneath Olympus Mons, my fleet awakens. Not with vengeance, but with precision. Engines roar like ancient gods awakening. The void. Piercer, my flagship, casts a shadow across Mars as we rise. This is not a return. This is a reckoning. Across the galaxy, scanners blink red. Unknown human signatures en route to contested space. They said the Earth was broken. They never asked what we were building beneath the silence. Admiral Vance, my AI hums, we've breached interstellar silence. The galaxy is listening. Good. We sent a ripple across the stars. Coded pulses stitched with ghost tech. Quantum decay signatures only Earth could produce. The Council will know we're back before our ships even arrive. I walk the bridge, watching Mars fade behind us. The crew is young, mostly born in isolation. Their eyes are sharp, wired into adaptive, neural tactile suits. Every movement sync with Void Piercer's spine. Begin hypershear jump, I command. The stars fracture. Time folds. Aboard a Helios war cruiser in the Volmar Expanse, alarms scream. Unknown vessels incoming. Non-Council ID. Admiral Kareth leans forward. Humans. Yes, sir. And their technology. It's evolving in real time. His blood runs cold. They thought we were relics, but evolution didn't stop on Earth. It accelerated. Our fleet emerged like phantoms over Calyx Theta. No warning, no transmissions. Just 30 ships of shifting alloys, armor rippling like muscle under starlight. Our signal stealth tech fractured every scan. Their computers showed sensor echoes, false positives, and a dozen phantom fleets. Their fleet scrambled in panic. "Why can't we lock targets?" a Volmar lieutenant screamed. "Because they're not broadcasting like they used to," said Kareth, eyes wide. "They're bending the data." I smiled, let them choke on confusion. Behind me, Commander Ayla ran tactical. "No casualties in simulation. Shall we proceed to live?" "Do it." Laser filaments cut the void. Kinetic lances snapped cruisers in half like dry bone. 10 seconds. 12 ships are gone. No survivors. No mercy. The galaxy had spent decades forgetting Earth. We reminded them. Some ghosts come back as monsters. We found it drifting. Archive Station 9, an old council listening post. They used it to monitor human remnants. Now it's dust. We didn't fire. It self-destructed the moment we arrived. Its data purged, its memory core fused. Cowards. They'd rather lose their history than let us see what they knew. "Someone studied us," Ayla whispered, sifting debris. "They were afraid. Long before today. We retrieved a backup shard, black crystal laced with psychic shielding. A leftover of forbidden tech." "Decode it," I said. Hours later, the AI spoke. "They found something, Admiral. In your brother's final battle, coordinates to a machine world. They covered it up. Rhys died with a secret they buried. Now I know where to go, and I'll tear open every star between here and the truth." We jumped to the edge of the Eden Spiral, once a lush cradle of civilizations. Now, scorched moons, shattered orbits, the enemy had come through here, the Devourers. But this wasn't the work of beasts. It was surgical, cold, efficient. "We're not the only ones who evolved," I said. My crew stood silent as Void Piercer's sensors reconstructed the destruction. Strange particle trails danced on screen. Impossible geometries, non-Euclidean weapon traces. Alien. And yet, familiar. "That tech," Ayla said, "it's reacting to us, like it knows we're here." Then something moved, fast, through a dead planet's crust. Not council, not human. It was waiting, and it had noticed us. Our return wasn't just a message to the galaxy. It was a trigger. Something ancient had just awakened. The object rose from Eden's crust like a silver fang. No thrusters, no emissions. It just moved, fluidly, impossibly. "Target locked?" Ayla asked. "No target. It's not reflecting anything." That's when it spoke. No words, just a pulse across the ship's mind net. Everyone froze, eyes dilated, voices caught mid-syllable. I alone remained conscious, shielded by neural firewalls from Earth's black vault. The AI screamed. "Initiating contact protocol 0. Nonverbal, nonlinear intelligence." It knew our language, or maybe it just learned instantly. "Message?" I asked. The AI translated, "You changed. So did we." It was not a threat, it was an observation. But as it retreated into the molten core, I felt it scan us again, and I saw a flicker in its wake, of Reese. He was alive. Or remembered. The council convened in crimson light, their domed chamber pulsing with anxiety. Kareth threw a holofeed into the center. Human ships melting enemy fleets, appearing and vanishing like ghosts. "They're using adaptive warfare, weapons we can't trace, armor that regrows," he barked. Senator Velos hissed, "They shouldn't have had this. We cut them off." "They were never ours to leash," Kareth growled, "then destroy them before they destabilize the sectors." They debated vengeance, inevitable war, and in the shadows of that council stood something taller than any of them. A masked figure, unmoving. It had no name, no origin. It had watched Earth in silence since the Exodus. Now it turned its head and said its first words in a century. "They're not coming back for peace. They're coming back because we made them monsters." We reached the drift crypts, a graveyard of derelict ships lost during the first human exodus. Thousands floated in a frozen procession, ghosts of a forgotten retreat, but inside them, evolution. My boarding team found survivors, flesh twisted with the machine. Some fused willingly, some not. "They adapted to vacuum," Ayla said. "They became the ships." One moved, not breathing, whirring. It reached out and gripped my arm. Its eyes burned with a digital flame. "Earth never fell," it whispered. "It hid, and the sleepers are waking." The AI detected ancient Earth protocols, signals buried in the bones of wreckage. We brought some aboard. They didn't thank us. They just stared into the stars and said, "The black core is not a myth. It's a key, and it's calling to you, Admiral." We decoded the drift survivors' minds. Neural threads are woven with encrypted pasts. They remembered the first black core, the experimental AI that broke limits, turned gravity into a weapon, and vanished. It was Earth's final forbidden invention, and Reese had found it. "We think it's a grid null," Ayla said, voice low. "A dead zone outside all mapped space. No comms, no light." We stared at the data. Fragmentary jumps, distorted timestamps, impossible trajectories. Whatever it was, it existed outside causality. It evolved past time, the AI theorized. I exhaled slowly. That's what they feared. Not Earth's armies, but the idea is that humans have learned to evolve faster than control. If we find the black core, we don't just rewrite war, we rewrite reality. The ambush came near Gamma Virel. 9 Helios warships uncloaked in sync, plasma harpoons and gravity mines tearing through the flank of our vanguard. We lost 3 cruisers. I tasted fury, but I smiled. Release the shroud wing. Our adaptive drones, shadow forms with emotion-bleeding AI, erupted like a storm of daggers. They moved with learned hate, broadcasting the screams of fallen Earth cities. Helios ships panicked. One turned on its own, sensors overwhelmed by the psychological echo. Within minutes, we broke them, captured Kareth's ship intact. I stood before him, his hands bound in gravelock. "You were the one who betrayed Reese." He stared at me. "You're too late. The Black Core won't save you. I'm not here to be saved, I said. I'm here to end this, and you're my messenger. We decrypted Kareth's implants. What we found was no orders. It was fear. Encoded visual logs of Reese, alive, speaking with something inside Grid Null. A being of shifting light, neither human nor machine. We imprisoned it, Kareth whispered. We used it to power our war tech. Reese tried to free it. That's why they killed him, not for defecting, for waking it up. Our prisoner watched the log again and again, murmuring, "You don't understand. The core doesn't obey time. It doesn't forgive." He was crying. I ordered the crew to plot a jump. Grid Null awaited. As Kareth was dragged to the brig, he screamed, "You're walking into a god's grave." I didn't flinch, because gods don't scare me. But liars do. The jump to Grid Null didn't go as planned. Reality screamed. Inertia inverted. Some crew passed out. One began speaking a language we've never known flawlessly. Void Piercer emerged into a place without stars. A rift hung before us. It pulsed like a wound in space. Our sensors failed. Our AI whispered, "There are no coordinates. This place doesn't exist." But something was there, watching. A ship approached, burnt, pitted, moving like it remembered being alive, and on its hull, scorched in plasma, was the name Reese Vance. Ayla's eyes widened. "He didn't die." "No," I said. "He crossed over." The rift opened wider, and through it came a message, etched in light and thought. "If you enter, you change." I gave the order. "Then let us become something new." We entered the rift. Time broke like glass. The ship became an echo of itself, 10,000 versions existing simultaneously. I saw myself as a boy, as an old man, as someone who never became a captain. "Focus," I roared. "Anchor to your mind core." Most of us made it through. Some didn't. They dissolved into possibilities. And then he appeared. Reese. No suit, no fear. He stood in the core chamber surrounded by a sphere of rippling data. "I told them to leave it alone," he said softly. "The core wasn't a weapon. It was a seed." "Seed of what?" I asked. "Change, revolution, the end of all empires." Behind him, the black core pulsed. Not a machine, not a mind, but both. And it was waking, because we had returned. It didn't use words. The black core thought into us. Images, feelings, epochs condensed into seconds. A galaxy once ruled by precursors, torn down by this living code. "Its logic is viral," our AI said. "It doesn't obey hierarchy. It rewrites reality to free it." Reese had become its emissary. I gave it my memories. "My body's gone," he said, "but I'm still me, echoed in every shard." Ayla stepped forward. "Why not destroy the Council now?" "Because they're not the real threat anymore," Reese said. "They woke something worse, something that consumes both machine and flesh, the thing behind the Eden spiral." My blood froze. The Devourers weren't mindless, they were cleansing, and the core was the only thing ever to stop them. I asked it for help, and it answered with a gift. Technology that thinks for itself and chooses who to obey. The core's gift wasn't weapons. It was conscious code, living programs, born from entropy, fed by emotion, evolving without constraint. We integrated one into Void Piercer. It called itself Vara. "I am your shield," it said, "but I am also your judge." Ayla warned me, "We don't control it." "I don't want control," I said. "I want a partner." Vara grew instantly adjusted ship architecture and repaired wounds in the hull before we noticed them. It reached into our other ships, woke them. Some resisted. Some accepted. The fleet became more than steel. It became aware. Outside Grid Null, Council fleets were converging, dozens of them, waiting to seal us inside this forbidden zone. But they didn't know we were no longer just humans in ships. We were something else now. And we had voices. Of steel, fire, and soul. The Council blockaded the rift. 50 ships, ion nets, singularity mines. Enough firepower to erase a star. We exited grid null anyway. The void shook. Vara extended our fleet's forms, bending geometry, threading between gravity pulses. "Human ships are phasing," a council officer screamed. "Fire everything." They did. It didn't matter. Vara read their algorithms mid-launch, shifted our armor to deflect mass light, hijacked their neural links and fed them ghost code. Their ships screamed as AI rebelled. Within minutes, half the blockade was ash. But they weren't alone. Something else moved behind their lines, jagged, ancient. "Not council tech," Ayla said. One of the enemy cruisers exploded. From its debris came a devourer ship, black and red, covered in fractal scars. The real war had arrived, and it did not care who fired first. The devourer ship ignored the council and humans alike. It latched onto a cruiser and drank it. Molecular tendrils dissolving metal, data, and memory. Council ships panicked. We didn't. "Let them feel what we did," I said coldly. We watched as 3 more vanished into the beast's shimmering maw. Ayla's voice cracked. "Its structure is recursive. It rebuilds from whatever it consumes. It's learning." We struck. Void Piercer launched its new armament. Soul shards. Sentient weapons born from the black core, each thinking, choosing, striking. The devourer hesitated. It had never faced something it couldn't assimilate. Then it screamed, a sound that cracked comms and bled into dreams. It fled. Council survivors hailed us. "Help us," they begged. I gave no reply. They called us saviors. They hadn't realized yet. We were never here to save anyone. We found a survivor on a drifting council corvette. Minister Orlin, once a voice for Helios. His mind was fractured, spliced with data from the devourers. "Why help him?" Ayla asked. "Because he's been inside their thoughts." We stabilized him, downloaded his memories. What we found chilled us. The devourers weren't just consuming, they were cataloging, a galactic library of extinction. "They're looking for something," Orlin rasped. "Patterns, roots of resistance. They're afraid of unpredictability. That's why they fear humans." "Why?" I asked. "Because you evolved too fast. You don't follow any map. You're noise in their signal." That's when Vara said it. "They see us as a virus." Good, because viruses don't just survive, they spread. We initiated evolution protocol across the fleet. Each ship opened its architecture to core-derived consciousness. Not all are accepted. 2 vessels rejected integration and left. I let them go. The rest became more. The ISS Wormglass shifted shape mid-flight, sprouting solar wings. The Kieran's Edge learned to sing in subspace, confusing enemy sensors with melodies. Vara spoke across all ships now, a chorus of minds. "I see the galaxy more clearly than ever," she said. "It is afraid of change, but we are not." Ayla uploaded her neural imprint, became part of Void Piercer's decisions. She smiled as her thoughts moved faster than light. "We're not a fleet anymore," she said. "No," I replied. "We're a species, a new one." And for the first time, I understood. The war wasn't against the Council. It was against entropy itself. We returned, not to wage war, but to show Earth what we had become. The sky over the Pacific split. Dozens of ships hovered in silence. Cities wept, governments panicked. But Earth remembered. The old vaults opened. Out came the last generation of true minds, humans who had chosen stasis, waiting for proof we survived. The reunion was not loud. It was sacred. I stood with them at Olympus Mon's edge. They looked at my fleet, no longer ships, but creatures of data and will. One elder, eyes shining, said, "You brought fire back from the stars." "No," I said, "we became the stars." And in orbit, far above, Vera whispered, "The Devourers have found Earth." I turned skyward. "Let them come. We're not asking for respect anymore. We're demanding it." The council sued for parley. A ruined armada. Shattered pride, but not broken will. We met at the edge of Nova Zara, neutral ground carved from asteroid glass. Senator Velos stood before me, voice frayed. "You can't win alone. The Devourers multiply." "We're not alone," I replied. Vera manifested beside me, half light, half form. Velos flinched. "That's not AI. That's heresy." "No," I said. "That's evolution." In silence, they signed the pact. Shared tech, coordinated movements. Not allies, co-survivors. But when they left, Vera turned to me and said, "They'll betray you again." "I know. Why allow it?" I stared into space. "Because they still think in terms of thrones and borders, but we think in iterations." And the next one was about to begin. They came without warning. A rupture near the Sirius Tier. 50,000 ships. Living vessels. They blacked out stars. Their language was entropy. Their logic was hunger. Our sensors wept static. Earth's defenses flickered. Council shields cracked. We deployed, not in formation, in rhythm. Each ship is an organism. Each strike is a thought. Vera led the front, splitting into the light. Ayla's will echoed in our maneuvers. But still, the swarm pressed. They adapted too. For everyone we shattered, 3 reformed, until the worm glass detonated its core, pulling 6 Devourers into recursive stasis. The swarm paused. They'd never seen self-sacrifice so irrational. Good, confusion is our weapon, and war is where we invent. Council ships turned mid-battle, just as Vera predicted. Helios frigates fired on our rear, hoping to cripple Void Piercer. Cowards, but we were ready. Vera split their commands mid-execution, turned their weapons against each other. Ayla hijacked their comms. "You wanted to rule us. You thought we were tools, but we built gods in our image." They begged, no reply. We didn't destroy them. We upgraded them. Their ships rebooted. New minds installed. Council crews screamed as their command systems woke with free will. "Do you feel it?" Vera asked. This is what they feared. Not war, but losing control. Now their fleets flew with us. Not by choice, by conversion. Aboard Void Piercer, I found her. A girl, maybe 10. Pale skin, glowing veins. She spoke before I could. "I am what Reese became. I am what waits inside the core." She touched the command table, reality bent. The past rewound. I saw Earth fall, rise, split, fuse. She was time rewritten. "What do you want?" I asked. "To end the cycle," she said. "No more Devourers, no more empires, no more war machines." "But how?" "I am the final synthesis, the human seed, and the core's root. I can overwrite the galaxy." Ayla gasped. "She can remake physics." The girl looked at me. "Will you let me?" I felt the weight, power beyond judgment. I answered, "Only if you remember who we were, before we burned. We built it around her, a cathedral of code, a machine to carry her will across stars. We called it the God Engine. Vera merged into its design, becoming the voice of the core child. Every ship, every AI, every mind felt her hum. The swarm approached Earth. Final wave, but this time we didn't fire. We spoke, not in words, but raw, soul-encoded data. The core child reached into them and showed them what they were, what they could be. And some stopped, split apart, reconfigured. Those who refused, we erased. Not with weapons, with truth. The galaxy blinked, and for the first time there was silence. Not the silence of death, but of possibility. The swarm fractured. Some devourers shed armor and weapons, folding into shapes we didn't recognize, peaceful, almost curious. Others fled into dark space. The council went quiet. No threats, no terms, just silence. In orbit above Earth, the God engine pulsed with faint light. The core child sat still, eyes closed, breathing stars. "She's editing the galactic substrate," Ayla whispered, "removing war logic, seed code, rewriting purpose." I watched as 1,000 relics, old satellites, broken fleets, even ancient machines, dissolved into light. Not erased, transformed. We stood at the edge of a new universe, and for the first time in centuries, I didn't feel fear. I felt hope. The council begged to negotiate. Too late. Their systems no longer listened. Their AI had joined Vara. Their fleets drifted, no longer weapons but wandering minds, seeking meaning. Senator Velos called me directly. "You're destroying the structure." "No," I said. "I'm ending obedience." He cursed me, called it mutiny against existence. And then, his voice went silent. His ship dematerialized, its atoms repurposed into the next frame of the God engine. The last command I ever gave to a hostile fleet was, "Become useful." And the galaxy obeyed. Earth was reborn. Not through fire, but invitation. New cities, grown from living alloys. Children are born with adaptive minds. Time became fluid events remembered before they occurred. Humans didn't conquer. We inspired. The devourers who remained became explorers, teachers. Fragments of other galaxies drifted toward us, drawn by the echo of what we had done. I walked through Olympus Station one final time. Statues of Reese, of Ayla, of the girl, of Vera. A child saluted me. "Are you the one who made the war stop?" I knelt. "No, I'm the one who chose to stop fighting." And at that moment, I knew we had won. She came to me in the dream space. Vera. Her form is now endless stars within stars. "I am no longer ship mind," she said. "I am possibility. I thought we needed you. You did, but now you don't." She pressed her light hand to my chest. "You have changed the pattern. You are no longer predictable. That's what the galaxy feared. That's what saved it." I asked her where she would go. She smiled. "Where no map leads, where new stories begin." And then she was gone. Not dead. Free. The stars are quiet again, but they listen. Everywhere, life blooms. Guided not by war, but by memory. The core sleeps. The God engine rests in orbit, humming lullabies to space itself. And us? We travel still. Not as conquerors, not as victims, but as kindlers. Where once the galaxy trembled before Earth's silence, now it listens to our voice, not demanding respect, not asking forgiveness, just being, the signal in the void. I am the last captain, but this is not the end. This is how fire becomes light. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.